Sorry, everybody. My dear, beautiful Lynn Monet is not feeling well tonight, but the wonderful Chris Carr has decided to join me as my co host tonight as we welcome Scott and Kim Horn.
Excellent. Well, glad to be here. Thank you for
Thank
inviting me.
you.
I
Thank
am
you.
to hear that Lynn is sick tonight. I hope she feels better, and I certainly will be in touch with her and hoping she feels better soon.
Yep. But tonight we have Kimberly Horn and Scott Horn. Kimberly is a disabled veteran who served in the Army as an instructor shooter for the United States Marksmanship Unit based veteran.
Yes, he is. I'm just bringing up some comments. What's up, George? What's up, Mart? Hello, Kristen.
And they both run through the. Oh, I'm looping. Stupid technology. Hold on, people.
Hey there, Courtney. How you doing? Thank you, Mort. Hey, Linda. What's going on? Hello, Vixen Doe.
Hello, everybody.
And hey, we know this person. That would be Kimberly Horn of, I believe it's Horn Paranormal. Makers of some very fine SLS cams. Do we want to bring them right on?
Yes.
All right. Why don't we bring them on?
Yes, because right now I had to block everything.
No worries. We'll just bring them up. Here. Over here. Hey, guys.
Hey, Chris. Hi, Ann.
Hey. Long time no see.
Right? I know, right?
Funny seeing you here.
Yeah. You just did that so I quit getting on my phone and texting you.
Those of you who don't know, we talked to these guys last week on our show with Kristen on Dark Horse Paranormal. And I think that was Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little while ago.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to see you guys again.
Yeah.
Because you guys are awesome.
We can hang out.
They are.
We're cool.
I think my echo went away.
That's good. We had feedback earlier.
Yeah, I thought it was on our end. I lowered my volume a little bit, but
always a gremlin in the machine.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, there was quite a few. I had posted for you guys to come on my Rising of the Phoenix page, and for some odd reason, it did it for 8:15 a.m. when I set all of them at the same time. Now that one just kind of like went on, so I had to change it. I had to reset it for tonight. I had to redo a new one. That's a gremlin.
Definitely a gremlin.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kristen tells me stuff like this, and I guess you guys have stuff in common. And I think, Kim, you can probably attest this as well. With the electronics, sometimes touching it just
a
little crazy.
Definitely. I know, even with Scott, even if you don't have sensitivities, if it's around, it'll mess with your, like we at the Joliet prison when we did that, our SLS kept shutting off, turning back on, shutting off, turning back. Frustrating. So frustrating. But yeah, it wasn't draining it. It was just playing with us.
Yeah, we've had that happen quite a few times actually with the SLS and a couple camcorders where it's fully charged and it just after a minute or two it quits, and then you later on after you go back and then you turn it back on thinking it's dead, it's fully charged. So
yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah, I can tell when Kristen's in a mood and she texts me, and sometimes I come in with hieroglyphics. It's not even letters anymore. It just becomes some weird font I've never seen. It does not even make any sense. It's like symbols. I go, what's going on?
Yeah.
Actors are like, wow, I didn't send that. Right. Screenshot me. All right.
Usually when stuff's amping up, it's like that. One time I was sitting in at the Sheridan Inn in Sheridan, Wyoming. Wild Bill owned that, and I was Wild Bill Cody. So there's Wild Bill Hickok and Wild Bill Cody. two different ones. He owned the one there, and he used to play poker at this one table. And we were sitting there having lunch. It's now a bar area, and we were both texting. Me and my ex, we were both texting, and our phones went 777 all at once, like poker hand. And the salt shakers were sitting on and the pepper was sitting there, and it slammed. It went sliding clear across our table. This was like 3:30 in the afternoon. I remember that was all that happened. It was like, woo!
Wow!
Out of nowhere. So got all kinds of fun little stories like that.
Well,
love to hear them.
Tell us like how you guys got together, and what brought all this on.
Oh, you guys would laugh. Scott and I actually met online. We're that couple.
Oh,
it was nice. It was right before it was kind of cool.
Oh,
and right before, right before,
still taboo-ish.
Yeah, it was like, really, you met online?
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. But so we've been together since 2013.
Yeah,
it was a pretty quick
turnaround.
Yeah, we met in April and we got married in August of 2013.
Just knew it.
I lived in a different state. He lived up in North Dakota, and I lived in Wyoming, and when I got online, I was just doing the free weekend, and I had all this criteria. He can't live out of state. He has to live in this, and he has to live this close, and I'm not going to be like this. And I had it. Nope, it wasn't anything in the search. Somehow, that's why I said Scott and he was brought to me, because it kind of, he showed up on my thing, and we were messaging each other. We didn't even realize we didn't live by each other. And then we started talking, and then when we saw we lived so far apart and had different jobs, he lived way up there and was a manager, and I was self-employed over here. And it was like, this isn't going to work because I'm not traveling up there. But next thing you know, we're meeting in a weekend in Deadwood.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was told we were getting married.
Oh,
true though. But
I knew it.
Yeah, it worked out awesome so far.
He didn't object. Let's just say he wasn't.
I was playing hard to get.
Right.
That's oh boy.
Yeah.
So as far as the paranormal, she's been pretty much her whole life spiritual and that side of it. And it really wasn't ever on my radar until I met her.
It's kind of one of the subjects you breach lightly though when you first get together and become a couple. And here I was. I'm 52 now, so you think this, I'm in my 40s. When you get this age and you're dating, you just lay everything out there. Either you like me, I'm not wasting any time. This is my baggage. This is who I am. If this doesn't mark your boxes, then don't waste my time. So he was like, okay, I'm not really a religious guy. I believe in God. I don't go to church. But so don't push religion, politics on me. And so we did our list, and I'm like, okay, since you're like that, this is where I am spiritually. This is how my life is kind of weird. If you're okay with that, then we'll just kind of see how it works. And
the way she introduced it to me, she lived in Buffalo, Wyoming, and the Dead Files did an episode on the Bullock or the Occidental Hotel in Buffalo there. And I remember showing me that series, like, you got to watch this because it's right here in town, so that kind of started it. And I really like the equipment side of it.
Yeah.
Because, I'm not as much as a skeptic as I was when I started. I'm still that black and white kind of guy I need tangible things in front of me or evidence, to see things. So we do a good balance for each other in that nature. So if she says something or feels something and I'm over there, I'm going to grab what'll work here. Let me get something, this piece of equipment to try to validate it and et cetera. So
I guess so as we grew together, so did our paranormal investigations, how we did things. We learned what worked and what didn't. And so as he started watching my abilities, because he's still like, I don't understand this side of things and I don't know. So he wouldn't take me for my word in the beginning, like there's something right there. He'd ignore me. He was like, whatever, that's your thing. But over time and going on other investigations with other people groups and other psychics that are well known and things like that, he realized, oh, you are saying the same thing. How do you do that? So then we got to where he's like, okay, I will put a camera over there because you're saying that's a hot spot. And that's how he's gotten more to trusting his own feelings, because he has that gut feeling of something's not right in this room. I'm going to put a camera face in this way.
Right. So that becomes a thing, right? So I kind of do the same thing. Like I did the tech stuff because I'm not inclined with that. I work in IT, and I like I was a musician in a former life, and I like plugging things in boxes and shit like that. Right? So I feel you. Like, wow, and that's why we have a lot of ITC stuff, because I really drove that. I love that. And then it becomes like a thing of like, well, where do you put the boxes?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where the sensitives in the room come in handy, because we feel what corner the energy is coming from, what mirror, to pay attention to, what reflection to keep your eye on. So
and you know what? It's helped my abilities grow too over time, because I'm using them more.
Right.
And so now, from when I was just being more empathic and getting the feeling stuff, I can actually connect at different levels. And it's not just sounds and smells. I can, or saying I don't feel right. I can actually tell the difference between elemental energy versus that kind of stuff. And so having that, I'm still spiritually growing. So it's been good growth for me. And at the same time, proving to him this stuff is here, even though we can't explain it. We still don't know what it is. I can't tell you, oh, that's an alien, or I don't know what this is. But I know that isn't something we can see with our naked eye.
So I got a kind of a good story. On our Facebook page, it was one of our first things we've caught, and it was at the Occidental in Buffalo, Wyoming. I think this was probably the second time we had investigated, and we were still pretty primitive back then. We're still getting our.
I think we had an Ovilus and a recorder and a camera.
I had a GoPro, on my chest or something. But we were up in the brothel area, and she was telling me to go places, go in this room, go over here or whatever, because you need to be over here. And there's this one room. I was like, I'm not going in there. I was in there for a while, and I come out, and I don't know, it's that gut thing. I was like, I'm not going back in there. And on the video, you hear me saying this, and probably 5-10 seconds after that, we caught an apparition of a female right behind the door.
Wow.
We didn't play that on yours, Chris.
No, I don't.
Because it's really hard to see. You have to put it on a big screen TV, and then you see her pantaloons, her legs, her stockings walking through there. You do see her.
Yes, I think that was like in 15 or 16, and that was like one of the first things we've caught.
Oh, if you could tag Chris in that, maybe he could bring it up.
Can you find that?
Yeah, I'll find it.
Yeah, okay, we'll find that for sure. So,
we'll try. It's one of those videos where you kind of need a big screen to see it.
Yeah.
A lot of people are watching us on their phone or whatever. So,
it's funny because when I was up there, we weren't getting a lot of activity. And so, little backstory, there seems like we're all connected to this somehow. And that's why we end up in the paranormal or doing what we do. But my grandma, her aunts were prostitutes. They're in the Wyoming whorehouse books. And they were red light district women, and they were not good looking.
That's a little weird at Christmas, Thanksgiving.
So in the brothel stayed open till, I don't know, 1980s, and then they were shut down all across. So the Occidental stayed open, and they would periodically do this, even into the 80s. Well, we weren't getting a lot of activities in the parlor area where the ladies were. So I started talking about my aunts being prostitutes. Then they started talking. That was
I bet.
To get them to come through. And we were using Ovilus then, and the Ovilus was how they were saying all this stuff. So once they got to talking, we started filming again, and Scott had already been in that room, like he said, and didn't want to go in there. And I felt her walk by me and went ice cold. But you hear on that video, I'm instigating him, go back in there. Go back in there. I don't want to go back in there.
Very nice.
There, and I wanted so bad to get to prove it to him that there's spirits in there. And he's like, going in there. And we just didn't even know we caught that, but we did. She walked right by, and then we actually caught that. So that was one of my very first affirmations that is exactly what I'm seeing is,
is what you're really seeing.
Yeah,
I confirmed it for you. Just so you know, I do have a couple of your EVPs.
Oh, yeah.
And where you were being shushed that we can play during the show.
Okay, that was from the Pioneer. That was a different one.
Good Springs.
That was the very first one Scott and I went on together. We take a vacation in Vegas, and we decided to do ghost hunt.
I'm sorry. Which one is the Help or the
Both
Shush?
of them. That was the
The Help was first, and then the Shush was after that.
Okay.
That was the Pioneer Saloon, our very first investigation together. That's what got him hooked because he actually caught stuff.
Oh, that I so want Doug to come out.
Yep. So
Gotta get him hooked. We gotta get him hooked.
I know. Well, and then we went through a lull where we weren't really catching a lot of activity. And then it kind of was like, well, you get all that high, right? Of like catching stuff. And then you go to a place that's really quiet, you don't get anything. And then you're bummed out for a while and and so we had to go through that cycle of paranormal investigations and then researching, going through all our data that we collected. The more equipment we got, the more stuff we have to go through. So that's not the fun part of
what happens, right? So yeah, I've been on like pretty large teams, and we've had cameras all over a residence or even like public type places, and had the all the infrared cams in every room, and you end up with so much friggin' data,
right?
Dividing it between everybody because now everybody can pitch in and buy all the stuff.
Yeah,
we're gonna review it. All right, you guys do this. You guys do this.
That's me.
Did you look at it?
We've got years of stuff to go through, all the way from Goldfield, Nevada, the Goldfield Hotel. We've got, and we know we caught stuff because we had such experiences there. But we still have yet to go through some of that stuff. And we even had a laptop crash on us, so we lost a lot of stuff because we didn't get to it in time. And it just makes me sick because some places they won't let you go back to. That's sad.
Where can we get a Horn Paranormal shirt? Because you guys have some shirts on. I do love these shirts. I love the handprint. That is badass.
Thanks.
Do you have them?
He's pretty good with that Cricut machine, isn't he?
Yeah, we actually went to a local screen printer to try to get some made up because I make a couple at a time or whatever and just give them out to friends or charge whatever it costs for the shirt. But it was ridiculous. They wanted like a minimum of 50 shirts.
$17 a piece.
Yeah, it was like $13 to $15 for a shirt, and I was like, I'm not going to throw down $1,000 for.
So he's stuck on
shirts.
He's stuck on the Cricut.
So yeah, I make them on the with the Cricut and the iron-on stuff. So
yeah.
Nice. Well, they look wicked good. I love
you.
the colors and the hand. Greg Koss says hello.
Hey, Kit. Hello. Hey, we're gonna be with him on Thursday.
Friday.
Yay.
Friday, he says. Yeah, that would be the Shadow Hour Paranormal, which you can find on Facebook. If you're watching this now on Facebook, you can just look up Shadow Hour. I believe it's Shadow Hour Events and Promotions, or Shadow Hunters Events and Promotions. And Greg's show is called the Shadow Hour, so that's cool. Joanne says, "Got me at horny."
That's what happened. I don't know. It was his name that I married. I don't know.
And you want to hear something too? Just synchronicity is. I worked at a restaurant called Horns.
Oh wow!
Third shift, right by the Belgrove Cemetery that I've talked about. That was the name of the restaurant that I worked at. Was Horns.
Oh wow! See, I lived in the Bighorns. I lived in the Bighorns when I met him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just the little things. I just love them little things.
I know it. All I know is this community that we've been introduced to is amazing.
It is, and it's growing, and I'm so happy it's growing. I can't wait to meet more people and learn more things and see more things because you're always learning. Every show I hear something else. I
know it. I don't know at my age if my brain can contain it all because every time I see something, it's like, oh, I need to look that up. I need to ask that person this. Because,
thank goodness for Google. Because my brain can't handle all of it. It's too old.
Mine too. Mine too. Oh.
Yeah. We're so much like you guys, and I think we would definitely be able to hang out and have a good time.
Oh, yes.
About that.
I agree.
So,
South Carolina.
That song, No Sleep Till Brooklyn, but yeah. Till the Paraconville.
Oh, yes. I'm so excited. First Paracon, I'm going to get to meet you guys. I'm going to get to meet Lynn Monet and Brandon Cooper and
I'm
all
really
kinds of people.
excited about it because it's going to be a camping atmosphere. And that's I love that kind of stuff. So
I got a hotel. Sorry.
Oh.
I,
that's all right.
we're too,
We
so
may, if it's rainy, we may be like, wish I had a damn hotel.
We got the Breaking Bad RV, so
we like
Good.
to
That's funny.
driving in the mud.
Who said that? I think it was Kristen that called
Kristen.
it the Breaking Bad mobile.
That's funny.
I said, except we don't live in a desert. And we don't do
The
smoke. we don't
Bigfoot
do
mobile.
The tailpipe or something, yellow smoke blowing out of it. But we're like, I know what's going on. I saw that. That's
drugs.
very
Funny.
It's awesome.
Funny.
Linda Judd's out there. Hello, Linda Judd.
Yes,
go.
hello,
Hi,
Linda. Kristen and all kinds of people. I can't comment or anything. I'm not touching my computer. It's working right now. I want to get in there and comment and heart everybody and love and comment, but it's just not in the in the working.
So, being as how we were talking about the haunting at the Mill Paracon there, that'll be our very first one as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Plus, we're going to be a vendor. So, is it okay if I plug
Oh
something
yes,
here?
go right ahead.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Chris, here it comes,
Yeah,
Chris.
Here it
Okay,
comes. So excited.
So, kind of where we started with our paranormal journey, where I was saying we were getting equipment and stuff like that. I bought my first SLS camera like in 2016, I think. And I paid a ridiculous amount of money for it.
Mhm.
And after I got it, I was kind of like, I think I overpaid for that for something so simple. But at the time, I mean, it is what it was.
Drive by.
And it was one of our favorite pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
So I decided to kind of make my own version. And Mary Lynn, friend of ours and part of our team, she wanted one. So I sold her one and I made another one. And then it just kind of like, well, so-and-so wants one, saw it, they want one. So I've made them off and on over the years for the last 4 or 5 years.
Mhm.
And I think last year I sold almost 200 of them on eBay within a year, So this year, I think it was in October, I broke down and finally bought a screen printer for the sole purpose of making a better version of SLS camera.
A lighter one.
Yeah, because it was always, you see these ones that are big, that big C frame, you're lugging around 15, 20 pounds of an SLS camera. So I made this guy. Let's see if I can get it in camera here. We're a little back. So this is smaller. It's an 8-inch tablet, give you an idea of the size. I've got 3 of these left because I actually got a newer version than this.
That's a good size, so the ladies tell me.
Yeah, so this one I've got 3 left. I'm selling them on my Facebook page because I'm making a new one that's only going to be available for the first time at the Paracon.
I love it though.
So I'll grab that one. This one, I've actually got about 4 or 5 that I have to make. Julie, we want 5.
Oh wait.
Oh, just wait.
Kristen.
Just wait.
I love this. This is so cool.
This is my new one.
And these all come with a little case. And so the cases are small. So when you're doing all your equipment stuff, your cases are,
So it's 8 inches wide, match the tablet. And that's about how big it is. So this one weighs just shy under 2 pounds.
Yeah.
Wow.
Where my first one weighed about 3. And then when you power it on,
The hand lights up.
there's our logo in the front.
They all come with that
hand.
crystal grip underneath.
Yeah. Oh, what that is, you can also, it's a bipod, like you can set it on the
Yeah,
counter.
it's a tripod.
Oh,
So
good.
you can set it, or you can use it on. It's got the quarter threads for a camera mount, or so you can use a
Change it out, put it on a
tripod.
Yep.
Tripod. So I'm going to try to get about 5 of these made up for the Paracon to have available for sale. I've got about 3 or 4 that are spoken for. And then after that, they'll be available for order, or, I'll make some and sell them after the Paracon. But this is about probably a year and a half in my head of
Streamlining.
just trying to get it to this point to where, you're not this big cumbersome.
Much smaller than when they first came out. And
Yep.
Yeah.
cumbersome machines. and not as reliable as they are today. What is the strangest thing that you've gotten on the SLS?
We've got some really cool stuff. I know.
Yeah.
I think the one we were telling you about with the cross.
That was the most interactive ghost, I think, spirit we've ever had. And for those that hadn't heard that story.
No, tell us.
Yeah. We were in Goldfield, Nevada, and we had paid to do the Goldfield Hotel. And if people remember, Goldfield Hotel is where Zach Baggins got his big break because a brick was thrown across and almost hit him inside it.
I did see that. And I haven't seen many, but I saw that one.
Wow. Yeah. And so that was actual footage that that wasn't fake stuff right there. That was actually happened to him. And so, not saying that his stuff's fake. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that was in the very beginning stuff. And
they always
so then we went out to the cemetery because I've always liked to go to cemeteries. I've done that. That's where I used to always do my stuff when I didn't have a partner to go, creeping with. So we went to the back. I kept sensing, okay, on the skyline, there was Native Americans. I could feel them out there watching. And then you come into the cemetery and there was a lot of old energy in the back part of the cemetery. Then they had the new part of the cemetery, which was still old. It was, I would say 1940s type old, but it wasn't the 1800s cowboys old like in the back part. So we went back there and there was this big white cross. It stood maybe 7-8 foot in the air. Somebody had actually put a stone cross or a wood cross. I can't even remember. You looking for that footage? Anyway, so we're videoing it because we get an anomaly. So Scott's focusing on it, thinking, making sure it's not, just because it's the cross or whatever. Because sometimes it'll give you a fake reading, but they go away. They don't stay. It's like a blip. And so we start talking and asking it to wave, and it waves. It's like, oh, and it's like, all right. So we start talking. So I just start talking to it like, you're probably not understanding what you're seeing from us. And so I was trying to think like they would, like we were the weird energy. So I'm explaining to whatever I think we're seeing out here that we have devices that can make now that we can see them or know that they're there. And could it come forward to us? And so it climbs down off the cross and starts walking to us. And we're still getting it on the SLS.
It was like 2 seconds after we said, "Can you get down from the cross?" Step down. It just right to the ground.
And so Mary Lynn, she was with us at the time, and I was still testing her because we were friends, but we were just getting to know each other. So I didn't know how good at psychic ability she had, really. Mm-hmm. She's done it all her life. She's always a natural, but I'm a tester. We were like, "Can you come over and touch Mary Lynn?" And she has her hand out, and we've got other cameras. We've got infrared cameras running, different camera setups running. And it comes over and touches right here on her right arm. And we're catching her, and then we're starting to map her. And right when it touches her arm, she goes, "He's touching my elbow." And right when he did it, she says, "He's touching my elbow."
She didn't know what we were doing on the screen.
Figure. Doing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So of course we're thinking, okay, it's going to be done here. It's going to zap. It's going to take too much energy. It's going to go away. Don't go away. It's hanging out with us. So we're able to spend like 5 or 10 minutes. And I am not joking. We've got the camera on it. And it was before we had the Bandicam footage where you could record the screen. So we only got blips of us using our IR taking pictures of the screen. Like our other cameras capturing this. So it's wasn't being done with the tablet. It was being filmed through our
somebody else watching it.
Yeah, we were using a camera to film the screen and seeing it. So we're like saying, why don't you come over? And if you want to see, if you're curious of what we're doing, come over, walk behind us and look through the camera and you'll see what we're seeing, and we've got the SLS and we follow it with the SLS and it comes behind us and looks at the camera. Awesome. But I don't think we ever got footage because we had the camera. Yeah, so that part we can't prove, but we had that experience and we do have proof of it coming off the cross.
Yeah, that video is on our Facebook too. That's
wild.
Yeah, but that night just blew us away. It's
pretty compelling, when you can, because we do, the sensor's not made to be moved around. quick movements, made to be stationary. So when you get something, you can just kind of hold your spot, move a little bit, kind of work around it and stuff. It'll do false positives. But when you get something like that that's there that shouldn't be there, and then it interacts with you, just like a human would when you see the little stick figure, it's pretty cool.
Is there certain things that kind of like mess it up? Like if somebody had a walkie-talkie, or if they put something else close by it, or anything like that?
No, nothing like that. But what it does, it's looking for a human figure.
So if you have a coat rack, it might map it for a second and then realize it's a coat rack, and then it disappears.
Yeah, because it's looking for the head and the shoulders,
right,
joints, things like that. So I mean, not everything's a stick figure, that you map as a spirit, but
if you put it on my cat or an animal, it's not gonna map it. It won't map animals either.
Oh wow!
And so,
there's a cat.
Yeah, exactly. Hi, cuties. Cat night. They're all on TV tonight. So we've caught some pretty interesting things, and the ones that helps because, like with being a sensitive, between the residual energy and the intelligent energy, you can ask questions to get them to wave or do something like that without making them feel like they're a circus act. I try to explain to whatever entities we might be talking to of why we're doing what we're doing, because I don't want them to think, oh, raise, jump on one foot. I don't want to give them disrespect like that. So,
I believe they like the respect. That's what they're looking for. The people that want to actually talk to and not make it a game or a, ego thing, but to actually sit and listen.
Yes.
Acknowledge
so we've had a lot of interaction. Yeah. But we have some that realize they're being filmed, which is really weird, and they'll jump out of frame. I've actually had to swing my camera to get them back, catch them again. We've had one out at a cemetery here actually jump up the tree to hide, to get out of the way when they realized we were filming them. So some of them just are very shy. They don't want it. Mm-hmm. So
that's right. This is a coworker, because I work in this room during the day, and the cat will go and plant himself in Kristen's chair. Of course, and he'll sit next to me all day.
Nice.
And you had mentioned a New Orleans evidence stuff.
We can't talk too much about that because I can tell you some stuff. It was really cool. It was the last investigation we went on. We got called on a Friday to come down to New Orleans to help with an investigation down there. We jumped in our RV mobile and drove all the way from Sturgis, South Dakota in a snowstorm to get down to New Orleans to help somebody out. And it was new ownership had purchased the Marie Laveau's location. So we had to go. I mean, how a private investigation of Marie Laveau's, we couldn't turn that down. So we did. We jumped in the RV and we drove all the way down there, got a spot, and went investigating for 3 nights in a row. And each night, something more, and it just unfolded. I mean,
it was pretty wild.
It was really crazy. It started the first night, did a walkthrough, and I called Mary Lynn because she's a partner on this, and she helps me with my abilities too. And so I'm filling out the hot spots in the house to help them tell them where to put the cameras. Thing is, the people who invited us had already done a walkthrough, didn't tell us where they thought the hot spots were and how they felt. And we matched. We definitely matched, and the same things. Awesome. So we were putting things in, and what they did is in 1905, I think, they got rid of Marie Laveau's house because they thought, it burnt down or something. I can't even remember the history, to be honest with you, on it. So,
well, the history's fuzzy. Some say that they burned the house down because they were seeing her spirit walk, out in front of it. So it creeped everybody out.
Thought it'd get rid of it.
But some say that it just, they just tore it down just because it was
People
old.
were worshiping there and doing a bunch of stuff because it was Marie Laveau's. So they thought that would tone it down. And so then they built this duplex type apartment building there over it. So you have 2 sides over her place, and Marie Laveau II had lived there, the daughter. And so one side of the house, you walk in, and immediately a little girl tugs on my pant leg. I mean, as soon as I walk in.
Wow.
But the energy in there is not heavy. It's just, it's active. So first spot. So you're going through like, oh, wow. And you're taking it all in. You can physically hear steps going across a wood floor.
That's not there.
Yeah. And anybody, no psychic, anybody could hear this. It was that active. So you're like, wow. So you go on the other side, walk in there, and it's eerily quiet. And I'm like, something's not quite right on the side. And I found out over investigating over the years, when something feels off but real quiet like that, it's usually not that good. Something's hiding, or there's more to the picture. So I walked through, and I had Mary Lynn with me, and I said, Mary Lynn, there is something. And I kept walking back and forth where the closet was. I said, there is something here. I cannot figure out what this is, but I don't like this space right here at the closet. And she goes, stop. Turn, look up in the corner of the closet. She goes, I said, oh, crap. Well, I had been to Joliet, and it was my first time I'd ever had an incident with an imp. So I hadn't dealt with imps that I knew of up until Joliet. So I'm thinking I'm seeing an imp. It feels like an imp in the corner. Like all I see is, in my mind's eye, all I can see is something, small and rigid in that corner. I automatically, because my experience with the imps wasn't good, I go to, oh, crap, he's got to go. Negative in my brain, like low-level demon, because it's not feeling right and it's hiding. So I'm thinking this, and I tell the person who invited us down there, crap, I think, because he set up a laser grid in this other part of the place, and we were catching these things all over the walls, little things. I'm like, I think you got an infestation in here, because as we went through, there was a, what do you call it, where they give offerings to like Marie Laveau. They make altars down there, voodoo altars. So there's an altar somebody has in this part of the house. So I'm feeling the energy. I said, this energy doesn't belong in here. This is not from here. People brought this in. But then here, where all the stuff is happening, I'm like, you need to put cameras. He put his laser grid in there, and we had cameras, and shows all these little things going crazy. And I'm like, great, we have an infestation. And so that was the first night. I'm thinking that. So he started calling them rat bastards.
The rat bastards.
Yeah. So he pisses off.
Your psychic eye. Are you seeing something that looks like an imp? I guess
yes. And so I'm not experienced. That wasn't in my wheelhouse. That was the best way I could figure out what I was seeing and rationalizing it for me. So I just assumed it was imps. It turns out it wasn't imps. And I ended up having to come back the next day, making amends with them and apologizing because I had them pissed. And the one psychic voodoo lady that was on the phone with Jennifer, who had walked through, she was upset. She's like, she was picking up on that, and she knew they were upset because after I had said that to the investigator, he was calling them out, thinking they were imps. Like, you got to go. They weren't, and so he was disrespecting them. And so this was a good learning lesson for me, because then I came back, and what I had with me in my RV, once I started figuring out what it was, I had to call Mary Lynn, and I said, what is this? So she was picking up that they were a Sprite, a water, because all the Louisiana Sprite. Well, they weren't Sprites, because the third night we actually brought in a voodoo priest. And because so much was going on in this house that we were trying to identify what kind of energies were there, because some belonged and some didn't. And it ended up to being on one of my footage. The only footage I put on the Horn Paranormal is that we realized that there was a pinnacle there. And you'll see me looking and the portals, each point of the pinnacle was a portal. And you'll see me using the dowsing rods trying to locate it. We didn't realize there was a pinnacle portal there until we started. We knew that there were some portals there by the end of the third night, but we weren't sure exactly where it was, and it did. It worked itself out to a pinnacle. I had no idea until we did that, or a pentagram, I should say, not a pentagram. Sorry.
Right.
That's fine.
That was
pentacle, pentagram.
Yep. This was all out of my wheelhouse, because here in Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota areas, I've never ran into I'm not familiar with traditional witchcraft. It's not my wheelhouse. None of this stuff was. So I'm learning about all this stuff all coming at me, not sure what kind of etiquette to use or any of this stuff, right? And so I have to go back step kind of in my psyche and try to make amends, because not necessarily these energies are bad in this house.
Yeah, exactly.
Some are just protection. They're there to protect things. That's why they're there, and you don't realize it. But they're everything that's evil is bad.
Right. It's the unknown, and that's where
that's what I meant to say. Not evil. I meant to say just because it's unknown doesn't mean
witchcraft.
Right.
Something that seems maybe dark to some people isn't always dark, right?
Right. I mean,
everything's got a purpose.
At the end of 3 days, the reason I can't talk about it is because there was a ritual done there. There was portals open there. They think there's some blood ritual that went on there, and the priest had to come in. They actually brought in Catholic priest to bless the place before they could rent it. Because
that is just to throw this out there, because I got to throw some defense here, because I'm on the witchy side. I know Ann is and when you say you bring in a Catholic priest to bless something, isn't that kind of the same
Catholic
thing? It's the same thing as witchcraft. You're doing witchcraft.
What I found out through the process,
that right? It's just it's just labels.
Yeah, but I found out something that I learned on that trip. Having the voodoo priest there, he could send stuff a certain way if it was done in the voodoo way,
based on culture. And
since whoever did the ritual, the satanic ritual, they needed to bring in the priest for that. Okay. Or maybe, shamanist, because it was done against Christianity. Does that make sense?
So it was the flip side of Christianity?
Yes.
Right.
So, then the witchcraft and stuff almost went hand in hand with the voodoo, because the land, we found out, there's a line back there that actually goes back in the records that was Native American, where the Native American stuff. So the portal, the main portal where those things were, which were actually not sprites, they were described to me more like a mermaid type water elemental that nobody really has a lot of history on. I need to research. I cannot find anything on
mermaid.
Them. Like a sprite type, but a different type. And I don't know the hierarchy of them, but they were there as protectors. And so they were right there on the grid line between the Native American and the voodoo cultures, where it switches into the house where Marie Laveau did her practicing, and the Native Americans actually did theirs on the ground. This is all just in this one small area. So you have all these different energies fighting in that area. It's a trip. And so I went outside. I had some South Dakota honey that I brought from South Dakota, and I actually did some sugar water. And as soon as I gave that to these little guys that I was saying sorry, they came through the microcon. They were helping me, tell me where to go to help me find the portals. They became, and they're little kids' voices. They're like, hey, and you hear them
this way. Yeah.
And I was so apologetic, because I felt like crap. I was calling it imps and stuff like that, when that wasn't even what they were. I'd never ran into these before. And so it was quite the experience. And the back to the evil stuff, that closet, that the sprite was protected, because in that closet, this man came through. His name was Dave. We got him. Every time a woman would go by there, he would call us names, bad names, F, P, B, everything, only women. On the microphone and on the equipment. He hated us, said he killed so many and he was going to kill more. And I come through there, and anyway, that was the doorway to climb up in the crawl space. And that's how we found, because he came forward, that's how we found the stuff in the attic, the claw marks, the scratch marks, the evil satanic ritual stuff up. A satchel that was up there, we found actual stuff of a bad ritual that was in there. And so that we could get rid of that, so they could rent the house. But everything else worked for years on the property. But somebody since then had come in to those houses since it built and was trying to do satanic stuff upstairs.
Bring it all back, opening, reopening.
Bad portals, yeah.
What's really, what I find interesting, being how I look at things, is they brought in 5 different people, mediums, through that place, the different cultures, the voodoo priests, my wife,
Jennifer's friend,
Jennifer, who's also,
Jennifer.
yep, and her friend, and they went through the house and they all pegged on the same thing, the same exact thing. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. You know, it helps with my thought process about it.
It's not coincidence.
Right, right. I mean, what, 2 maybe? I could go 2, maybe 3, but 5, so.
I couldn't paint the whole picture by myself. I can only tell, what I was feeling. And they tell you as a sensitive, you speak it. You say it, you speak it.
As soon as you feel it, speak it. As soon as you get that feeling, just say something, even if it doesn't make sense. Because when you go back and you look at it, it's like, oh, wow, that made sense. I didn't even know it made sense, but it does.
Right, exactly. So what I was picking up was a piece of the puzzle. So then the next person they brought in didn't have this information, like the voodoo priest stuff. He brings in another piece of the puzzle. And guess what? It all fit. And it was like Scott said, it was in the exact same spots.
It was all relevant.
And it was matching all the ITC equipment stuff we were picking up. And it painted a story of what was in there. So when we go in to investigate, I try to keep this in my head that we're only getting a portion each time we investigate. We may not even ever know that full story. So that I'm trying to it helped me with my fears because of the whole imp thing. I was afraid of the whole demonology stuff before I got to that point.
Sure. I mean, you say the word imp. I mean, immediately I'm like, what is that?
Yes. You can't get rid of them. They're like little rat bastards.
Little rat bastards with the little 3 nose and all.
Yes. They come in and they're like bad in-laws you can't kick out. So yeah, but I misread their energy because I hadn't had that experience with anything other than that. And so that told me is don't assume anything, nothing. They talk about tricksters with the whole demonology and stuff like that, but
trickster.
Yeah.
We try as a general rule, I guess try not to assume anything when you're talking to or trying to communicate with spirits.
Yeah.
You never know.
Right. Because you don't know what they're going to say. They don't always tell the truth, like you mentioned. Tricksters are a common thing. They are out there.
I'm always telling Scott, if I was to come through a spirit box, if I died, I would be messing with people. I tell you, I was my uncle or something. You wouldn't know. How do you know, though? It could be somebody just messing with you.
Yeah, I know how I am, like in my human form. So,
But that makes investigation fun, though, because it's real.
We talk about roles a lot, like, stepping up to these roles. And sometimes, every town, I shouldn't say sometimes, every town has like a haunted cemetery. They have a women in white and that sort of thing. Like across America, you see the same phenomenon.
Yeah.
Children in the cemetery, little boys lost and all that stuff. Why every cemetery? You know what I mean? Every old one. I think that might be like a role, and they know they can fill that role, and they come out, and that's where the phenomena starts to occur based on the lore. Because people, they put their intentions out there to see such a thing, and therefore something.
It's the energy, the manifestation of that energy that you're talking about. Especially if you got a lot of people all doing the same thing. You're creating that.
Right.
Yep.
I think a lot of spirits get misrepresented too because of that.
Yes, I do too.
And history isn't always right. I think that's why, like the Ghost of Morgan City. And those have worked out so good because those guys stayed a long time, like a week at a time to investigate to get a fuller picture. You know what I mean? I think you need more than one day sometimes to go back and see if you missed anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
if you truly want something accurate.
I think people bring in, like we touched on this too, I think people bring in their baggage and dump it too. So then you need to know if it belongs there or not.
Right. Is this actually Mo over in the corner's bad energy that we're picking up on? That's why it's behind him? Or is it, go with different people,
Yep.
and see what is the common thing that happens?
Yeah.
We think everybody has spirits around them. And when you go through these places and these walkthroughs and that kind of stuff, you're leaving a little bit of it there. There's something enticing to them to stay.
Right.
A big collection of energy, and that's a good thing. From what we understand, I think about the spirit world is they like the energy, right? So
Yes.
there's a good chance that they're going to want to stay and hang with it and that kind of stuff. And what ends up happening is you're going to get a lot of collective stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, one of the scariest things that ever happened to me was, and Scott wasn't a part of it because he was with the guys on the group, but we had went out four-wheeling. We weren't even investigating. And this is before I knew I really needed to shield up and put, because of my abilities that I attract stuff and didn't have my protection up. We were out in Swansea, Arizona, BLM land. We were out four-wheeling with friends.
In the middle of nowhere.
Nowhere out there. And we get out to this ghost town, Swansea. You can look it up on the internet. And there's a set of buildings off the side. It's an old mining town that just dried up. And there's no electricity, nothing out there, but there's some camping spots out there. So we're out there looking at it in the daytime, and I'm picking up on a woman's energy. And so I take out my recorder and I try to catch an EVP with her. But something, I know it's off, like she's blocked. I'm like, why can't I get you? I know you're here. Why can't you talk? Well, it bugged me so bad that it kept staying in the back of my head. And so we all get in our four-wheelers and we're driving out, had a great day just exploring. And I look out of the corner of my eye and I swear I'm seeing this coyote keeping track with us. We're in a four-wheeler. We're going 30, 40 miles an hour. There's no way a coyote can keep up from the hillside, disappeared to me. And I don't think much of it, but then I'm like, I wonder if I just saw a shapeshifter, out of the corner of my eye, an elemental, right? Mm-hmm. The thought came to me, it was my spirit guides telling me, pay attention, because it was just odd. And so I'm telling Scott, we got to go back and investigate that place at night. It's a mine shaft. It's everything. So we're RVing with a bunch of retired people down on the Colorado River. So we have our group of friends that we went four-wheeling with. And so I talk them all in to come in. You guys want to go on a ghost investigation with us? We have all the equipment. Let's go. And they're like, that sounds like fun. Well, I'll drive out there in the middle of the night and go. Well, here we make the plans. Stuff starts happening around my camper. I start getting knocks. It sounds like somebody's walking through. It's trying to intimidate, like scare me. The way that the energy is coming through, shaking the door handle like somebody's trying to come into our camper and doing the stuff. I'm like, So I end up saging and salting my camper. And I'm calling Mary Lynn saying, Mary Lynn, I said, I'm seeing this vision. What do you know about elementals? I don't know anything about elementals, but I feel like this is an elemental. And why is it bugging me? And she says, you brought it back from somewhere. And I'm like, crap, we're going back out there to investigate. Can you come down here? The time she was living, oh crap, it's my horns. Yes. So
I got to go.
Yay, Brandon.
So I invite her to come down. She was living in Las Vegas at the time. She was doing the Pioneer Saloon stuff. And so she comes down and she's camped with me and it shows up. And I said, it's here. She goes, yeah, it's right behind me. And she goes, it is definitely don't want you going back there. And so we're having this conversation and we both have chills up and down our body, but she confirms, yeah, woo woo. So anyway, so we ended up going out anyway to investigate. Well, after I'd done the salt, my friends who have nothing to do with the paranormal that are just going on this, they start having unexplained noises in their camper, footsteps, shaking, the same thing I had. So when it didn't intimidate me anymore, it started messing with everybody else that was going to go out on the investigation.
Don't do it.
So we ended up going on the investigation anyway. And I made everybody do a prayer circle. And I blessed everybody with my sweet grass and sage. I made everybody. Whenever we go out on an investigation, if you're investigating with us, you got to at least let me say a prayer around you, or you do it yourself, but you have to protect. That's, and I knew at this point, I didn't know exactly what we were dealing with. I thought, because, elemental stuff. And before the night was over, that girl that we caught, I swear, if we could get cadaver dogs out there, that there is a woman out there. I won't go into much detail, but we found a pair of young girls' underwear out there in the sagebrush that shouldn't have been out there. And I have a picture on my Facebook. It almost looks like a clown's head or a guy holding a lantern like in the mine. There's no lights out there, but this thing came at us like this, and it's on my Facebook, this picture. because Scott's over with the guy groups and we're trying to pass this girl over and this light comes in. I get a photography. Thank you, Kristen. That's my girl right there. So you get this picture, but then this red snapping light starts when we're trying to cross this girl over. I get shoved. I think I have the video of me going forward like that. Wow. And we're talking about it. We hear a girl scream in the distance, like it was replaying her death. There's, I think, 6 women. We all hear it with our naked ear. So we're passing this girl over. This elemental doesn't want to let her go. This elemental over the years had started off as something good. Okay. It was there by the natives to protect the land. Then the mining and the people and all the crime, all the stuff that happened that came with the mining changed the energy there. And so I felt like what has happened, I honestly feel, because it's down by Yuma, that this is a dumping ground for it. And I wish I could get somebody with law that could go there and sit there. But I feel like the sex trade, I think that's a dumping ground for girls out there. But they feel trapped and they don't cross over. And this elemental had been using this energy and didn't want to let this girl go.
Of the people that might be dumped there?
Yes.
Wow.
And we passed one girl over and she told us her name. The girl in the group that was with us, she looked up names of missing women and we found one that described her to a T with what we saw missing out of Utah. So I really, in my heart of hearts, think if somebody went out there, they're going to find a body out there.
At your gut feeling, your instinct, or your
yes.
intuition.
So yes. So we're
right.
We get her passed over, but this light is flashing. Mary Lynn's throwing salt down, keeping it behind us while the group of us are passing this girl over. And when she passes over, Mary Lynn says she passed over, but all of us felt it. And I saw in my mind's eye, God's hand coming down, reaching open, like lifting her up. And right when I was seeing that image, Mary Lynn said, she's passed over. She wouldn't have known what I was seeing. And it got really calm there. And all she said is that this elemental is laughing, saying that it won't be the last one. Like that's still something that happens there. And So I pretty much made amends with this elemental saying, don't follow me anymore. And we won't, you stay here and this is your thing. And we just do our thing. You do your thing. And we never had any more problems with it. It never attached. It didn't follow us, but we had to, it was probably the scariest investigation that I've been on because of the metaphysical side of it. And knowing that somebody was really probably getting dumped out there. And what was so creepy is we had all these men, all the wives and husbands out there. When we went to leave with our 4-wheelers, somebody had drove in there with a van with no windows and they were partying in a thing over with one woman and a bunch of men out there that night. And so it was really, really a creepy scene when we were leaving that BLM land. Like something was just off out there. And so I think as far as crime goes,
we were probably 25, 30 miles away from the nearest town.
Yeah.
Just out in the desert. We're on the 4-wheelers,
one way in and one way out.
So
in the sticks.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. I mean, we were out there till probably 1, 2 in the morning.
Yeah. And what was weird is when we went out, one rode in, one rode out, there was a car parked behind this hill that wasn't there when we were there. We were out there. We never saw anybody get out of that car. That car was empty. Where did those people go? They were out there somewhere.
Who knows what they were doing?
And so I was glad we had these men with us, and Scott and I, we take our pistols, whether, that's just who we are, but, so protection. Yeah. So anyway, so that was a weird, eerie thing just because who knows what they do out there,
Right. Or probably a very good idea.
Yeah.
All things considered.
Yeah.
And I think certain areas attract certain people too. Like they're prone to go to certain areas. That energy that they, like a bar by a water. That negative energy just go. You don't even go blind, and you can feel that.
That's the energy out in Swansea. This elemental
is that what
Swansea,
you said?
Just like where Kristen was.
That's
Swansea.
where I grew up. That's where
It's Swansea, Arizona.
That's how I met. Where I met Kristen was in Swansea. My sister still lives in Swansea, Mass. Different area, but the same name. See that? Same thing.
Yep. No, that was one of my most prolific. That was another one of those game changer, help me move my abilities on kind of thing. Because for a long
The
time,
confidence you gain when you know that it's for
Yeah.
real is incredible.
especially when you have numbers of people out there, you may not always catch it on evidence, but when you've got more than one person with you that is seeing the same thing, the same lights, the only thing that I caught physical evidence was that camera of that light anomaly. That's my only proof that something was there that shouldn't have been there.
Mhm.
So yeah, but our experience that night, no doubt in my mind that this happened the way we were feeling it happened.
Yeah,
So
most.
yeah, if you talk to any of those people, because they weren't paranormal investigators, they're just your average people just going out for a 4-wheeler ride. They left there going, oh, they were like, this is creepy. I don't know if I like this stuff. So yeah, but that was interesting.
Well, just the whole atmosphere out there in the dark, there's no lights whatsoever, just the stars.
Which I think is cool.
It's really cool. So you get that heightened,
Yes.
whether you're
A part of nature, a part of something.
Yeah.
Instead of the computers and the TV and the news, when you're out in nature, it's just, it's a homing to me. It's like,
Me too.
Yeah, it is. Like the grounding feeling is amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
There it goes.
So,
I feel better.
I don't get scared out in the middle of nowhere very easy. I grew up with 6 older brothers, only girl. I was a tomboy. I have all these cousins the same age as me, and I grew up out in the sticks. So our thing of growing up was to go get lost in the woods, or you have chores to do if they find you. So that's how I grew up.
Yeah, I was the baby out of 5, but the oldest sibling to me is 6 years older than me.
Yeah.
I pretty much grew up myself.
Yeah.
They were all doing their thing, and I was let to do what I had to do. I was spoiled rotten. I'll admit it. I loved every minute of it. My parents, by the time I was around, were like, "Here, you're gonna do what you're gonna do anyways. Go ahead and do it." So I did.
Yeah.
And I was always in the woods. I didn't hang around with the girls. All the boys, I was the tomboy out in the woods building the forts and going fishing and jumping in the river and going out on the boats. Oh yeah.
Yep.
And I know. See, where Brandon Cooper's out there. Hi, Brandon. We are so excited about South Carolina. There is something that's bringing us. There's something that's sending us there. I'm telling you. The signs, the eagle, the hawk, they're all sending me.
Because I'm going to be there. According to Brandon, I guess.
What is that?
Brandon, he can't handle the sexiness.
I'm going to take Scott's face and I'm going to do a Dos Equis thing and send it to you. I don't always act this sexy, but when I do, with Scott's face,
Brandon's
just for
attention,
you, Brandon.
I guess.
Oh, Lordy.
Oh.
So, but you are so right, Henry, because ever since I met all of you guys, it's like we've known each other. It's just really
Doesn't
cool.
it feel like that? Doesn't it?
The connection, the feeling of we're home. I don't know about you, but most of my life I felt like, this isn't my home. This isn't the way things are supposed to be. There's nobody else out there like me. And then I started watching Bigfoot and the Bunny and Dark Horse, and I'm like, oh, look. There's people like me out there. And then I continue to watch. And then next thing you know, I'm friends with like a bunch of people that are on the show or watch the show. And then I'm meeting their friends. And there's so many of us and we're all connecting. And I'm like so excited. I can feel that excitement of, feeling like we're all coming home. That's the only thing I can explain it. Like we're all brothers and sisters and we're all just so much alike and we're all meant to learn from each other. And yes.
I'm wicked humbled by that. And when we say wicked up here, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Just wondering. The wicked means, as you see, Kristen hung that back there at Wicked Good Time from Newberry Comics, from Newberry
nice.
in Boston. And Boston.
Boston. My accent, like I was telling them earlier, I haven't lived in Mass in 30 years, but I can't get rid of it. And every time I go and visit, it gets thick again. I come back home and it's back thick again.
We laugh so much when we see like an actor from another area, you know, trying to imitate.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, it's hysterical.
Accent. We just saw, oh geez, who's his name? Kristen will know. She'll throw it in the comments. Trying to do a Rhode Island accent. He was trying to be like H.P. Lovecraft, who was lived in Providence for a while, and it was terrible. It's like Brooklyn.
Just don't put your R. Yeah, I can't even say R.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
weird.
Brandon.
But,
Come on.
Brandon Cooper, we're gonna bring on.
Awesome.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't stay away, can you, pal?
I can't take the sexiness, Scott. I can't do it, buddy.
My word. This ad's gonna be
So we're bringing on
cute.
more sexiness.
That's right.
Oh, Lordy.
Wow. Good evening and welcome to Synchronicity, Brandon.
Oh, yes.
Well, thank you. I'm about a month early, but I'm here.
Hey,
Yes, you will be coming back on. I believe
you're
it was
about to
April.
fly out too.
Hello, Kristen Johnson.
And we're going to meet you in person. I'm so excited.
It's going to be a blast.
It is.
But you get to meet Scott though.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Kim and all kinds of people.
Who? Oh, Kim.
Like a little bit of competition as to who's-
Chucky. Here, I'll just,
And our poor sick Lynn Monet, she's going to be a speaker out over there. She doesn't live that far from there, so I'm going to get to meet her too. You know, we've only talked and chatted online, but we've never met in person, so this is going to be exciting.
close. We're this close to dropping. Yeah.
you need to come on down.
Yes.
We'll find room for you. Throw it. If you got a tent, I'll throw a tent air mattress in. Actually, sleep bed. Seriously, it's camping.
Well, and actually, I can't.
I
can't confirm this or not, but I may have an extra hotel room.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's how we're planning on staying at the Country Inn in Anderson, is what I was trying to tell. My husband gets points. He works for the railroad, so he collects.
Anderson's about 35 minutes from the place, so it's not bad. Anderson's a nice little town.
Yeah, and I hear there's a mining place around there that Lynn knows of that we might go check out, see what we can't find.
Talking at this thing. Sam Baltrip is going to be there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I just had him on the show Sunday, and he's super excited. Oh my God, it's a REM pod.
I'm selling one of these, a smaller version, at the show. Scott's putting in the REM pod stuff right now in him. I got to sew his head on, and he's going to be offered here. Oh, he's bringing you the head. Do 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 do.
Whoa!
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, it's Scott. Okay, good.
You cannot come teepee creeping over into our camp in the middle of the night for him.
That's what I look like when I don't have my makeup on.
That's still sexy. The way those glasses sit on your 5 head there.
Yeah, I got one.
This is why I wear a hat all the time.
I'm proud now.
Yeah, you can land a plane up here.
Hey,
Let's not talk about foreheads.
that's why I always
Land a plane.
So Brandon, you said that there's several buildings there at the Paracon, right?
Yes. Yeah, there are 1, 2, 3 cabins, the petroglyph building, the mill, the moonshine still area, the blacksmith forge, the cotton gin, the stage, a barn, and a pottery barn.
So when you went and investigated, how much energy did you feel at each one? Do they all feel like they're Native American, or the energy there?
No, in one of the cabins there was the energy of like a house slave.
Oh, interesting.
I guess. And well, one of the cabins was actually built by natives, and the other cabin was built by slaves. So, and then in the mill has its I'm knocking stuff over. The mill it's because of Scott. I can't handle it.
So excited.
No. The mill has its own kind of feel. It's like a 3-story mill.
Oh, nice.
Now the natives kind of come in towards the back of where the area. I mean, we're on 55 acres, so when you get there, you'll see where the 2 cabins and the stage are. Everything back from there is teeming with natives, and everything in front of that.
Okay.
I actually saw an Indian in the trees above the mill. Above one of the pictures, the one on the left, you can actually see an Indian in the tree right up above that on the left-hand side.
It's funny that you see Indians in trees because when I was in
I do all the time. I see everything in trees.
There, they like to crouch in the trees.
They do, and that's where I see them a lot. I've got one where I sit, I look out, and it's the side profile of an Indian all the time, just right where I'm sitting. I can look up and see him. And a buddy of mine sees a dragon looking out that same window, but to the left from where he sits, he can see. We're surrounded by oak trees, and the oak trees always carry nature, all kinds of things.
It's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and the oak tree is super important in the Celtic lore too, because that is their tree of life. So,
yeah, okay.
And that's what I'm connected to. I am very connected to the tree of life.
What do you point to? Your bookcase?
I have some oak tree and a vase with some flowers.
Oh,
yeah,
very cool. Very, very cool.
So tell us more about the Paracon too.
I didn't come on here to take over. I just came here so I could be closer to Scott.
No, dude.
No.
We all know that.
We know there's a love there.
Hey, Brandon, were you on earlier to see Scott's new design of his SLS?
No, but I have. I've had seen sneak previews of it.
Oh, no wonder you've got a crush on him. He's showing you stuff I don't even get to see. Yeah.
It's called a bromance.
Bromance. Goodness.
I like me and Chris Carr. We have a bromance as well.
Dude, does he get?
No, it's on the side. We don't talk about it too much on the air.
Yeah, we can't. We got to keep it. We got to keep it quiet.
On the low down.
All right. So, what kind of preferential treatment do you get, Scott?
Well, you'll find out because I fly out there Thursday. I'll be there by lunch.
Nice.
Wow. Did you hear that? Desserts on you.
It's a date.
Yeah.
He's gonna actually blush. You actually got him.
I probably
blush.
already am red.
That is my goal in life, is to make Scott blush.
Nice.
I love you guys. You're not the. You guys are so awesome. Look, and what do you think?
I love it.
Seriously, you guys are amazing. When is the Paracon happening again?
March 24th through the 26th.
24th and 26th, and you're gonna make
15-hour drive. I saw Kristen posted 15-hour drive.
Yeah,
8 hours for me.
I've got people coming from Seattle, Washington.
Wow.
Well,
And
okay.
Sturgis in an RV.
Is that Becky, right? Becky Evans, I think.
Becky Evans is coming from Seattle, Washington. Yep.
Ah, damn it. We're gonna have to go.
Yeah, man. Chris, I'm telling you, you're gonna have to come out, man.
Yeah.
And there's Wi-Fi out there, so if it falls on a podcast day for you, you can podcast live.
I always got shit to say.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right, that is awesome and way too tempting. I think we're gonna have to go.
Yes.
Kristen's like,
Yes.
I know.
Oh,
Do it.
yeah.
And
You know I want to. I love you guys. So.
From the celebrity talent interviews that I've done, everybody is super excited because they say that they haven't seen this kind of mix up of speakers.
Yes.
Different whatever. And like I tell people, I made the Paracon that I want to go to.
That's
So, and it's unlike other Paracons, like where we're stressed and we're running around and we gotta.
You're actually going with what you feel is right.
Yep. Yeah, and it's gonna be relaxed. That's why I have camping, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. Yeah,
I think
you gotta. If you're in the locale at all and you're not going, you're foolish. This is the thing.
Yes, I'll tell you. And the pictures you posted are gorgeous. I mean, it's pretty there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when we're looking out our window getting snowed on right now, it's looking really good.
Well, it was 82 degrees today here.
Ooh.
Wow. We hit high 60s. It was nice today.
Wow.
That's wrong.
But it feels so right.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Oh Lord.
Oh yeah, there. And Kristen just said we have to. So yeah.
Oh.
We have to. We do.
And Kristen said, "Me, her, and Kim are so sistermans.
Yeah, sistermans. Yeah, no bromance with the sisters.
No bromance. We're sistermans.
Y'all have a chick click.
That's it. That's the word. Yep.
Sisters from another mister.
There it is.
That's it, man. I'm just here to cast shadows and let the girls rain.
Oh my goodness.
It's best.
But and this is like another reason why I'm having the camping, because people can sit around afterwards and just shoot the shit.
You know what? And that's
get
what
to know each other.
Yes.
Yeah, see, even though I'm staying at the hotel, I plan on going, and hanging out. But like my husband has a CPAP machine, so he has to be plugged in,
I sleep with a CPAP. We have power out there.
Do you?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. We sure do.
Cool.
And you know what? No one can snore as loud as me and Scott can sometimes, so it doesn't even matter. You might be hearing us and they're going to.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I heard you guys from Sturgis when I was up in the Black Hills. I could hear you all the way up there.
That was actually him. That was your bro.
That I could tell. It was like a sexy siren song.
It's a Brandon.
Oh my god. Chris is out.
Oh, see, you made Chris leave.
Oh no, Chris had to go away. Oh no.
Oh no.
He disappeared.
Yeah. He'll be back.
He'll be back.
Now is he the Bigfoot or is he the bunny? Has anybody ever figured
I
this
don't know.
out?
We've never asked that question. Now, Kristen.
Yeah.
We'll have to ask that.
I believe it. They joke about him being the Bigfoot and her being the bunny, but it had to do with the story that they were, when they thought they saw a UFO, they were bunnies that were hanging around. They were like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Bigfoot started following the bunny, and then next thing they're like, that's the perfect.
Yep.
What movie did we watch with the bunny had fangs?
That was the Lone Ranger movie.
Did anybody ever watch the Lone Ranger movie
with Johnny Depp?
With Johnny Depp?
See, I'm going more Monty Python.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a bunny rabbit.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
You said count to 3, not 2.
Yes.
We have to. Yes.
It's almost funnier. Look at the fangs.
Oh.
Like, what is it? She's a witch.
Yeah, she's a witch. Burn her.
Burn her.
Not better.
I feel happy. I feel happy.
That's all right. Yeah.
Kristen told me close enough, Ann. I told the story about the Bigfoot and the bunny. They wanted to know who's who.
Yeah.
I've heard it a few times.
It's a good story. And
it is. I love it. That's how you guys all come about. So I love it.
Perfect. That is perfect. That's what's going to be fun is because
you sound like me, Chris.
Everybody's got a story, and I love sitting around campfires anyway, telling stories. So can you
imagine?
imagine?
We got a little propane campfire thing that we'll bring, and we'll have the RV so we can sit out.
But you said there's fire pits there, right?
Yeah, there's fire rings out at the camp areas, and I might be lighting the sacred fire with some members from the Cherokee Nation if I can get them down.
Oh, that would
Nice.
be cool. Super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
That'd be a good time.
Yeah.
yeah, so we're gonna try that. I'm trying to get a ceremony set up through. I'm in contact with the Museum of the Cherokee Nation right now.
Cool.
Yeah.
On your vendors, what kind of stuff? I know I'm going to have probably this book budget just because of all the books I want to buy from people who are going to have books there. What other stuff besides the candle maker and?
Okay, so yeah, you've got the books, various wonderful books. Candle Witch Company's coming down from like New York, I think.
Jeff, I'm seeing your messages sometimes, and yeah, very cool stuff that you're posting. Sorry.
I know we've got Parfume Macabre, which is a friend of mine. She makes really cool, smell good stuff.
Cool.
And kind of the creepy way. It's really cool. Supernatural Inc. will have our stuff, and I have actually I can show this now. So I have.
Is that your Ouija board? Oh, Brandon.
Oh, wow.
Mary Lynn was asking about those and how much because she wants one of them. She'll be there.
I only made 5.
They're leather.
Yeah, I burnt. I hand burnt all the letters and everything.
Oh shit!
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Then these are the planchettes that go with it.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Badass.
a butterfly. That's awesome.
So everything's handmade. I don't know.
Butterfly's a spirit for me.
That's
I
true.
know that she seriously, was liking those.
Like $50 to break even, probably.
No, you need to charge more than that.
Yeah, $100.
You think?
75 bucks.
Okay, I could do 75. Probably.
You got your time, like you said, you hand burnt that. That's on leather, and that piece is going to last. It's going to be an art piece, so you got to look at it like
Yeah. Well, and each piece takes about a week.
Yeah.
Your time is worth that.
Yeah.
But I only made 5 because I didn't know what the demand would be, but I'll probably take orders if these happen to sell out, then I'll take orders because like I say, I hand do each one of them.
Scott's got some other equipment he's not showing on the podcast that he's bringing too, not just the SLSs. So there's some neat little paranormal design stuff that he's got coming.
And then let's see. I'm trying to. I've got. I'm pretty sure Mama T, who I promote on my podcast, is coming out. And she, for those of you who don't know who Mama T is, she is the only herbalist that I support through my podcast.
Okay.
I know her. I trust her. She and I actually make tinctures together.
Nice.
So
nice.
she'll be out there. And then let's see, we got the cryptid people that are coming out with all their cool stuff. Probably some books there.
Nice.
Wow, cool.
That's very cool.
22 vendors.
Yes.
I think.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
I
may
know
have-
our table will be split between our SLS equipment stuff and Mary Lynn. She has her own metaphysical store that she does some things, and she might be offering some tarot readings too while she's at our table.
Cool. I'm good with that. Yep.
Yep. And I'm making little keychains, little voodoo keychains, and I have crystals in them.
Oh, cool.
I'm making different color ones.
Oh, speaking of keychains, glad you said that. I made.
So cool. This is fun.
I know, right? I love it. What do we got? Oh, cool. Keychain.
Yes.
Yes. You know I'm wanting
Very
one.
cool. Trade ya.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I got to make something. What can I make?
I think I've got like, I don't know, 4 of these. No, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I saw the question a little
Linda.
second ago about the XLS versus SLS.
Yes.
Now,
Yeah, Linda Judd.
yeah. So
asking.
The sensor I use is the Connect 360, and they've got the Xbox One sensor, which is probably about twice the weight of the 360.
Yeah.
But the software is different. The Xbox One sensor actually sees in a little more 3D. It's a different view, and I guess if my understanding is right, I think that's what they're calling the XLS is when they use the second version of the Kinect sensor.
Yeah.
And I've played with it. I've had people ask me to make them SLSs with that sensor, but the reason I don't like it is because it's so heavy compared to the original one. I mean, and you're getting pretty much the same type of equipment.
So the data that it reads is exactly the same or close to it.
Right. It's just how the software is written.
And walk around with.
Right. Yep.
Excellent. Great answer. And yeah. All right. So it sounds like we need these SLS cams.
Of course you do.
You do.
Yes.
I know we
I
got
have to tell you.
It's your Facebook page, but is that the best place to really get the SLS cam?
Yeah, just
It
that's
saves
where
in
I'm at right
shipping.
now. Yeah. There's our card.
Yep. Ta-da.
And I believe I got it on the ticker too
Yep.
for your page.
When he sells stuff on eBay always holds a lot of money out. And so then, but it seems like if you buy directly from Facebook, then we can cut out that cost.
Yeah, I heard Amazon has been doing that too.
Yeah.
They're not giving everybody what they're getting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that's working for the Amazon books. I noticed more and more people are holding on to the books themselves and going through different ways.
Yeah, that's why I asked if Sam was bringing his books out, even though he's flying out, because I'd rather buy directly from him than these sites. Seriously.
Yep.
And I want to, and I'm really anybody who's got any
Hi, Doug.
any
That's
books
my
that are
husband.
there, I'll probably be buying them because I love the stuff.
I love it, Scott. Love it.
See
So
the
wait, was Douglas talking to me? Hi, honey. Was it? No?
That
No.
would be my husband who's
Oh.
actually bringing me there, who is a complete skeptic. He's just like my bodyguard. He's just going to make sure I make it there because he knows I'm really excited. And I was like, I'm going. He's like, all right, I'm going too.
Well,
That's awesome. That
Yeah.
really is awesome, right?
yeah.
And that's kind of the story of these guys. Like, you had Scott is like a skeptic, and he felt like, oh, I don't want this to hurt her. I feel this from you.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, he's my bodyguard, Brandon. Sorry.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
when
Yes,
you
you'll share him with me. Okay.
yeah, when we got together, it wasn't
Yeah.
like a deal breaker. Like, okay, wow, she's crazy, or she's cuckoo, or whatever. It wasn't nothing
I
like
told
that.
him
It's
he
like,
could
okay,
not
you're
use
just,
that word with me, or he would see crazy.
I'm not. I've told her, and up to this day, I was like, I don't judge you, or I'm
Yeah.
not going to say don't be doing this because whatever. She can do what she wants to do, and I'll support her. Same with
Yeah.
her with me. So.
He's always been supportive of me. He buys my
Yes.
tarot cards, my
Yeah.
oracle cards. He always buying me candles. He knows I'm always in need of candles.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
he's great like that. And I wish he would get. But I knew I was going to marry him back when we were just dating, and we were one of the first times we went out for a ride, and he stopped for me to get out to move a turtle across the road. And I knew right then, I just knew it. I'm like, when he did that, because that's something I always do. If I see a turtle, I'll stop so it doesn't get hit. And we were just driving this back road, and he stopped. He's like, oh, there's a turtle. And I was like, my mouth was open. I'm like, I know I'm going to marry him. I just felt that connection. And he's always just let me be me, and I've always let him be him. And he keeps me grounded because of his skepticism. Because if I was with somebody like, I don't know where I'd be. He's great for me.
I would like to respond to Kristen. Have you ever seen the movie Eyes Wide Shut?
Ew,
Is that
yes.
what you're talking about there, Kristen?
No.
Oh, jeez.
I'm just saying. She was waiting on the dirty response where she says,
Yeah, she was waiting.
Sorry, Daisy.
Oh, she's feeling better. She wasn't supposed to get sick.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm glad everybody's starting to feel better. It seems like everybody had this crud for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Including Brad. How did you guys have COVID?
yeah, we had the vid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably shouldn't mention that on a podcast though.
No, I know that.
It's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Not
We're
as
all
bad.
past it though. Yeah. Get that
But-
stuff out of your system before coming down.
Well,
and all that. Yeah.
yeah, I just don't want you to get flagged. But yeah, it was.
No, we won't.
Okay.
We're not that way.
Oh yeah, okay, good.
The other way.
Oh,
No,
but
it's okay.
what's bad is my wife had it worse than I did,
Uh,
and I'm the one with the lung disease. So go figure. I got
it's
lung.
weird, isn't it? How it hits.
Yeah.
So crazy. Yep.
But yeah, we're feeling better. Like I
That's
knew
good.
I had to get better because I was going to fly back out March 2nd.
The timing, isn't that crazy when you have all this important stuff? You can't just put it on the back burner. It always happens at the craziest times.
Well, I told my wife, I was like, I don't have time to get sick. I got too much going on.
Yeah.
That's when the universe is like, yo, hold on, relax. You got to
Right.
get off your feet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Redirect.
Well, I'm hoping that I'll be able to relax during the 3 days of the event. I think because I like to plan. That's the whole military coming in. And if I have everything planned right, everybody ges to relax.
Yeah,
Nice.
you can coast.
Yep.
I don't know about you, but I'm going to be telling stories with my new friends.
I know.
We're all going to be hanging out.
Yay.
Yeah,
be
I can't believe Chris Carr is coming to my podcast.
I
My
want to.
Paracon.
I want
Dark Horse Paranormal.
to. You know, it's
Yes.
weird.
So on our way to
Weird memory of waking up and having this exact thought and memory program go through. Yeah, I'm telling you, like, yeah, we're gonna go, and the whole thing, just right
Deja
now,
vu.
I've totally deja vu'd this entire thing.
that gets that a lot.
I
know.
saw it. I just saw it when it hit you.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like, wow, it's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like your look on your face is like, why we are supposed to be there. You guys are
That's been
supposed to
having it
be
a lot
there
too.
too. It's
I am trying to battle myself out of just like being in a simulation theory at this point. I go, oh my god, are you real? Are you
Right.
real?
Yeah, it's
You
just
went
real
to the
happening.
Matrix.
Yeah.
Is that you?
So here's something.
we're all real.
I'm not.
So the Whispers Estates, he ended up reaching up Scott for equipment originally, or somebody from the Whispers Estates, Rich Ballard, who owns it. And so we've been in contact with them for a few years. We've been to his place before. Oh. And so then we find out that we're going to go investigate it on our way down there. And then we just find out he's coming.
Yeah, he's coming down.
Oh, wow.
He's cool. Yeah.
Yep.
And so in the Whispers Estates, anybody get a chance to go there, you got to go to that place. That's one of those.
I knew he was going to put that.
Hey, Mary
Just
Lynn.
don't turn him into a frog. He always picks because I'm.
Hey, Brandon, show your Ouija board again. I texted her and said that you put it on there.
Oh yeah, I will. But let me go back. I just saw Echo leave. He sent me. He said heal up.
Echoes.
Thank you, Echo leave.
Transformer.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can.
Very cool.
I'll bring out the one I haven't dyed yet. It may be easier to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Awesome.
Very cool. Boom.
And then I have. Okay, so I showed the dark one, and then I've got like this saddle tan, too. So I got a couple. I'm not done yet, obviously, but when I'm done, I'm gonna have a like not a polyurethane, but a lacquer on top, and these have the fence on the bottom, so it will actually be a working board.
Wow.
Oh, you got a hole?
I wouldn't suggest doing it because the handmade ones are usually like the super good ones. And believe it or not, I'll make them all day long, but I won't use them.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't either.
I had one bad experience when I was 16, and from then on,
a friend of mine had a really bad experience that kind of went off on me, and and
it's funny too about the whole Ouija thing because it's just a tool. I mean, of communication. I use dowsing rods, I use pendulums, but the Ouija board just isn't one because when I was 16,
the difference is the energy that you're going a lot that's doing it with you.
Yeah.
See, if it was just me, it probably wouldn't have been a problem. Just like with my my
pendulums.
Pendulum, that's coming through me. It's not attached to anybody else, and I will only share my energy with certain people because if I connect. If I feel any kind of attachment, I'm not doing anything with you.
Yep.
We were lucky we didn't get an attachment, but we could have not known what we were doing at the time.
To answer Linda Judd, I hadn't thought about doing a class on Ouija board etiquette and protection, but I can.
Yeah. I think everybody should understand protection. I think that's huge. If you're getting into paranormal investigation, even if you don't believe in it, you should learn protection.
Well, and if they, TV is so popular with everything now, they should show that beginning and end, because it's really misleading.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff they don't show that you should be doing.
And it sends a lot of these people out on YouTube, these teenagers and stuff, doing this really stupid stuff that are creating things that they have no idea what they're doing. And it's making it bad for everybody else.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, if I get enough interest in it at the Paracon, I can do like a little side class on it if people are interested. Because I didn't want to really take part in the Paracon. I wanted to.
Well, no doubt. No doubt.
Doing all the other stuff.
Just enjoy the time.
But you know what? Maybe this is something that if this is your yearly thing that you can work into the rotation for next year.
Yeah, but like I say, if people do want to know and you are coming, just come up to me and ask me, and we'll set aside like a time when everybody's sitting around the campfire or whatever, and we'll go over it. Yeah, sure, I can do that.
Yeah. Awesome.
I think people should know that the dead are all around us. That sort of thing. I think we all know that. Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there's another level where you talk to them a bit more.
Yep.
Yeah. It goes from just they mind their business, you mind yours, and then when you start stepping over into like the investigation side and the communication side, that's when that veil gets a little bit thinner, and then that's where you need your protection. It's not really every day, even though I can't say that because I've got a whole deck full of protection.
Yes.
But just on an everyday basis, you really don't have to worry about it. You can wear a little trinket like some tiger's eye, like a tiger's eye necklace or something. But you don't have to worry about it until you start connecting.
If a person is strong in their faith and they know that they're protected, mentally know in their heart of hearts, know that they're protected, that they have something around them, or just know it, just that thought and intent of knowing you're protected is going to keep the everyday creepers from following you home because you are already put at a shield. You just don't realize you did it.
And here's a really good, really quick, like beginner protection. Whenever you feel a little on edge, anxiety, or anything like that, just close your eyes and picture the brightest white light emanating from your chest and then completely covering you.
Yep.
And that's like that's your protection. That's the simplest form. That's usually
My
where
bubble.
I start.
Yeah.
Your bubble. Yeah.
My bubble.
It's not religion based or anything. It's just that. That's what's cool. Yep. It's black and white. The
Simple.
light and the dark. Yep.
Yep.
Good. Okay, then I'm okay.
All right, folks. You guys hold on. Stay backstage. I'm just going to put you guys out. We're going to end up for the night. And I'm just so excited. Thank you all for joining us, Brandon and Scott and
amazing
Kim and
audience all
Chris.
the
Thank
time.
you for being my co-host. My poor Lynn, I hope she's feeling better. I'm going to try to get a hold of her soon. Y'all have a great evening.
Bye, everybody. Bye.